Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn Dachshund studies today, Dachshunds, and after we've done it, we're gonna do Neckstretching. And if you participate in the Neckstretching, then it's at your own risk. And I'm just trying to read and understand it. This is no advice how to live together with a dog or something. I'm just trying to read and understand it. In general, and I haven't read it, sorry, I'm just trying to read and understand it. In general, one description that could perhaps be applied to the Dachshund is a big guy in pocket size. They have a reputation of being very shrewd and stubborn. They will always make their presence felt, be very affectionate with the master, but a little reserved towards strangers. These are versatile dogs with different sides to their character. Now I don't know what shrewd or versatile means, but I'm saying here, a big guy in pocket size, could it be said. And they make their presence felt, be affectionate to their master, maybe a bit reserved towards strangers. Different sides to their character. These are their side dogs with different sides to their character. That is not to say that these are only companionable lap dogs. They are also good watchdogs for house and garden, and, apart from that, passionate hunters. So they're not just companionable lap dogs, they are also guard dogs or watchdogs, and also passionate hunters. By its very nature, a Dachshund likes to make its presence known. And you need to be alert if you want to remain the boss. So we're seeing here that the Dachshund is making its presence known. They said it was affection to its master, makes its presence felt. And they're also saving here that the person should be aware to do the right steps to remain the boss, the holder of the animal. Don't expect any blind obedience from this dog, because this underground hunting dog has to define its own tactics during the chase. Its high degree of self-initiative has been bred through to today, and that is why this dog has such a reputation for being so, I'm not using the word, I don't know what it means. So what we're saying there is that the dog was bred to hunt underground after other animals, to hunt, and that it should be self-initiative, to be able to have itself the ideas how to hunt the animals. And that was then bred by these dogs, so that they have very much self-initiative to develop own tactics how to chase. However, a Dachshund will come when called. It just takes a little longer, and you need more patience than you perhaps would with other breeds. The Dachshund's amusing appearance and its strong personality make it an ever-popular breed with countless enthusiasts. So we're saying it can learn, or the dog can learn to be called and come when it is called with its name. And we're saying that many people like Dachshunds. Domestication. As soon as a wild animal has to adapt itself to captivity and to live longer with human beings, then certain changes are going to occur to these animals. Okay, the Dachshund is living together with humans, not in the nature with other animals or with wolves or whatever. And that has, of course, that it is adapting. Sometimes the influence of a certain environment, so we're talking about thousands of years, I guess, or hundreds of years, sometimes the influence of a certain environment, the way of living, food, and even the climate, may have caused these changes. A natural occurring mutation, change in the hereditary characteristics, which causes a big change within the species, may cause a real problem for that animal to survive. Think, for example, of a white tiger. So we're saying, I guess that's the meaning, I guess as far as I think that wolves are descendant of wolves. The dogs are descendant of wolves. And that there are changes in nature, and there could be, for example, that it happens that there is not the tiger with its yellow and brown shedded, what is it called, fur, that it is almost invisible and camouflaged between leaves and trees and so on, but suddenly there could be a white tiger, which would be a problem if there's a white tiger in the wild, because it can be easily seen, in this case by the prey, so that the white tiger can't hunt it good. So we're saying there is by nature a change, something which could make a tiger white, or a dog a little bit different. Sometimes they lead to problems, sometimes maybe not. However, when a mutation that has occurred during captivity appeals to the humans, then this can even lead to new species. So we're saying there can be a mutation in a dog a little bit, and it can be that humans like that, and they try to increase that. Variety in color is a good example for these mutations, but also the different shapes of a skull, varieties in coat, and the different shapes of tails we all know very well. So there are little mutations, and they are then tried to make them to replicate again. If there are little changes, and that is why there are different types of dogs. When you think of a Dachshund, the first thing you think of are the short legs and this office breed. So we're saying short legs. There. In case of a Dachshund, one can say that a lack of growth of the long bones in the limbs was the cause, a mutation that we also know from Chavo chickens and the Shetland pony. As a matter of fact, this is an disproportionate dwarfism because the rest of the body develops normally. So we're saying that this type of dog has, for some reason, a very short upper leg bone, and the rest of the body stays in shape. The head, and in particular the back, so that it has a more or less normal long body, almost like other dogs, almost like wolves is technically. Wolves are a bit bigger, but quite big actually the body, but very short legs. It is said that already 6,000 years ago, short-legged dogs were found in Egypt, about 2,400 years ago in Greek, and some 1,800 years ago in Germany. So we're saying some type of dogs who had short legs were already 6,000 years old in Egypt, probably. From the various findings in, among others, Roman settlements in Germany, one can say with certainty that the Germanic people had short-legged dogs living with them. So I said, they found at some places in Germany, some places during the Roman times, where people were living with dogs who had also short legs. Dog breeds have not been specifically mentioned in ancient pieces of writing. Nevertheless, there has been literary evidence of an allowance paid for beaver dog. De eo carne quen bibar hund dicunt, qui sub terra venatur, qui occident redat et cum I don't know what 7 in Latin is. Set a solid component. He who kills a similar dog that is hunting underground and is called a beaver dog has to compensate it or has to pay him an amount of 7 solidi. So there was a law by the Romans that if someone, for whatever reason, is killing a dog which is an underground hunting dog, has to pay the person who the dog belonged to 7 solidi, so the money then. About 400 years ago, 2 types of underground dogs were mentioned. One short-haired dog with bent legs, and one wire-haired dog with straight legs, just like the barbet. The short-haired dogs with bent legs and the wire-haired dogs with straight legs were also mentioned as 2 types of barbets that were supposed to come from Flanders and Artois. In those days, people did not consider the barbet and the Dachshund to be 2 different breeds. Okay, when we had more Dachshund, my voice is a bit giving up. So, if you were here for Dachshund studies, you can go directly to the next part. Dachshund studies, we will read on there with what is written there about the Dachshunds when they started to live together with humans. If you stay here and participate in the next stretching in this video, good and safe sense, breathe in and reach with the fingertips to the sides. Out and down. In and reach in front. High up and back. And arms to the sides and circle around. Change the direction. And down. Stand calm, tall up, shoulders back, breathe in. And out, head over to the shoulder and chin down to the shoulder. Breathe and lift the gaze. Turn the head over to the other side. Breathe out, head down to the shoulder. Breathe and lift the gaze. Out to the other side. Breathe out and circle the head again back. Breathe again in and out, and then circle the head back and back into the middle. And have the palms together, the elbows together. Breathe in and reach high. Out and down. In and up. Out and down. In, arms back. Out and front. In. Out and front. Back. And have the feet standing together. Intertwine the fingers behind the back. Tall up, shoulders back, breathe in. And out, head over to one shoulder, chin down to the shoulder, and pull with the hands down to the ground. Breathe in, lift the gaze. Out to the other side, breathe out, chin down to the shoulder, pull with the hands down to the ground. Breathe in, lift the gaze, back into the middle. The legs are standing a bit further apart, intertwine the fingers behind the back. Bring them over to one side, tall up, shoulders back, breathe in. Out, head over to the side of the hands out, chin down to the shoulder, pull the other shoulder in and down. Breathe in, lift the gaze, over to the other side, hands over to the other side, breathe in, chin down to the shoulder, pull the other shoulder in and down. Breathe, lift the gaze, back into the middle. The feet are standing together, one arm behind the back in the overlap. Out, bring it over to the side. Breathe in. And out, look to the hand on top of the head. Hand down, arm behind the back. The other one up. Out, over. Again in. Out, look up. Down, pull it the head. Down. Arms up. Lean back, out the chest to the sky. In and up. Out. In and up. Intertwine the fingers into the reach high. Breathe out and reach your front. Intertwine the way around. High up. Out and front. In and up. Lean back with long arms. In and up. Out and back with long arms. Draw the shoulder blades together. Elbows down. In and up. Back with long arms. Draw the shoulder blades together. Elbows down. In and up. Out and down. In the arms up. Out and down. In and up. Bring the hands to touch and lower them down to heart center. That was the neck stretching. I thank you very much and have a next time.